I always thought love would be enough, that if I just gave my family everything, my time, my loyalty, my silence, they'd see me, they'd believe me. But I was wrong. So wrong. I'm Nora. The youngest of three. The quiet one. The one who never rocked the boat, who smiled through clenched teeth, who kept the peace even when it tore me apart. I've always been that person. Until the day I couldn't anymore. It started small, like most betrayals do. My older sister, Jenna, was the golden child. Charismatic, confident, and always mom and dad's favorite. And then there was Lucas, my older brother, the funny one. Always getting into trouble but forgiven just as quickly. Me? I was the shadow. The listener. The invisible glue holding our family together, and maybe that's why they didn't believe me, because liars don't come quietly. They scream. They make noise. They demand attention, but the truth, it sometimes whispers. It began one rainy Sunday afternoon. I was at mom and dad's house, helping them pack up the garage. We were talking, laughing a little, when mom mentioned Jenna had been struggling financially. She said Jenna was too proud to ask, but they'd quietly given her money to help with rent and daycare. I nodded sympathetically. I mean, I got it. Jenna had a toddler, a deadbeat ex, and a part-time job that barely paid her bills, but later that evening, Jenna texted me something that made my stomach turn. Jenna, I told mom you offered to help cover my rent. You better not back out or I'll make you regret it. I stared at my phone in disbelief. I hadn't offered anything. I didn't even know she needed help until that day. But suddenly, I was being roped into a lie I hadn't agreed to. I replied, me, I never said that, Jenna. Why would you lie to mom like that? Jenna, because I knew they wouldn't give it to me unless they thought it came from you. Just go with it. I didn't respond. I couldn't. My fingers were trembling, my throat dry. This wasn't just a small white lie. This was manipulation. And it wasn't the first time. I started to look back, connecting dots I hadn't noticed. Before, the time mom accused me of saying something cruel about her cooking. I hadn't said anything, but Jenna had been there. The time dad was upset with me for flaking on helping him with paperwork, something Lucas swore I'd promised. I hadn't. I realized then, I'd been gaslit for years. Blamed for things I hadn't done. And every time I tried to defend myself, they said I was being too sensitive. Overdramatic. Maybe even unstable, and I believed them, until the text. I decided I'd keep everything, every message, every screenshot. I created a folder on my phone. I called it Receipts. Because I knew, someday, I'd need them. Things escalated quickly after that. Jenna started texting me more aggressively. Demanding I lie for her again, about why she couldn't attend Dad's birthday, about a broken vase at mom's house that she blamed on Lucas's son, about money she'd borrowed from me and never paid back, and every time I pushed back, she got crueler. Jenna, you always thought you were better than us. You're not. Jenna, don't start drama, Nora. Just do what you're told. Jenna, one day, they'll see who you really are. And she wasn't wrong. They did, but not the way she expected. The final straw came during Christmas. It was supposed to be our first Christmas together since Dad's surgery. I had spent weeks preparing, wrapping gifts, making his favorite gingerbread cake, putting together a heartfelt slideshow of our childhood memories, but when I walked into the living room, everything was off. The air was cold. Stiff. No one greeted me. Jenna was already there, sitting smugly on the couch. Lucas avoided my eyes. Mom looked like she had something to say but didn't know how. Then Dad spoke. Nora, we need to talk. Those 5 words were a dagger. He pulled out his phone, opened a message, and read it aloud. I can't deal with this family anymore. They're toxic and suffocating. I wish I had been adopted. Supposedly for me. My heart dropped. That's not mine, I whispered. I never sent that. But they didn't believe me. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Why would you say such hateful things? We loved you, Nora. Jenna chimed in. She said worse to me privately. She's been acting like a victim for years. Lucas nodded. You've always played the martyr. I felt like I was drowning. No, I said, my voice cracking. Jenna sent that. She's been using my name to say things, texting from fake accounts, lying to you all for years. Jenna laughed. Wow. So now I'm hacking your phone too? And then she smiled. That's when I knew. I was alone. I left that night in tears, my face burning from humiliation. The family I'd bent over backward for, turned on me like I was a stranger. Worse, like I was the enemy, but I wasn't going to cry in silence anymore. When I got home, I opened the Receipts folder. Dozens of screenshots, voice memos, text exchanges. Jenna confessing she'd lied. Threatening to twist things. Gaslighting me again and again. I took a deep breath and typed a message to our family group chat. Since you all believe I'm a liar, I'd like to show you something. Please look at these screenshots before deciding who's telling the truth. I Attached 42 files, each one with dates, times, and Jenna's own words. I waited. Seen by, Jenna. Seen by, Lucas. Seen by, Mom. Seen by, Dad, and then, silence.no replies.no apology, just silence. I didn't sleep that night. My phone buzzed once around 3 a.m. It was Lucas. Is this real? I replied, yes. He didn't respond. 89 a.m. I got a call from Mom. I almost didn't answer. But something in me needed to hear what she had to say. Her voice was shaky. Nora? I'm so sorry. I wish I could say my mother's apology fixed everything, that those 3 trembling words, I'm so sorry, stitched back the years of damage, betrayal, and neglect, but they didn't, they couldn't, because pain like that doesn't vanish with a phone call. It lingers. It echoes. Still, I listened. I had no idea, she whispered. Why didn't you tell me sooner? That question stung. I'd tried, so many times. I had cried in front of her, begged her to believe me when I said I felt manipulated, mistreated, isolated, but she never saw me, only Jenna, only the daughter who always knew how to say the right things. Even when they were lies. I asked Mom, do you believe me now? She hesitated. I don't know what to think, Nora. It's just so much. Jenna's always been difficult, but this is proof, I said, my voice shaking. Not assumptions. Not feelings. Actual proof. I know. I need time to process. That was the moment I realized, my family had built their reality around Jenna. Around the idea of her being the victim, the overwhelmed single mom. The one who needed support, and me? I was the collateral damage they were okay living with. Over the next few days, no one else reached out. Not Lucas. Not Dad. Not Jenna, and it hit me hard, that the truth, even when undeniable, doesn't always fix what's broken. I didn't eat for almost 2 days. My apartment felt like a prison, the air thick with silence. My hands itched to text them again, to explain more, to fight for their love like I always had, but I stopped myself. I reminded myself, I had done nothing wrong. On the 4th day, I got a knock at my door. It was Lucas. He looked like he hadn't slept either. Can I come in? He asked. I hesitated, then stepped aside. He stood in my living room, holding his phone, scrolling through the screenshots I'd sent. I didn't want to believe it, he said. Jenna's my sister. So am I. He flinched. I know. We sat down, and for the first time in years, Lucas looked me in the eyes. You know she did this to me too, he admitted. Years ago. Told Mom I was stealing from Dad's wallet. Got me grounded for a month. But I let it go. Why? Because it was easier than fighting her. And because Mom believed her so quickly, I figured, maybe I deserved it. He looked broken. And it hurt, seeing him like that. Knowing we'd both been pawns in Jenna's games, and instead of standing together, we were turned against each other. I'm sorry I didn't defend you, he said quietly. You didn't deserve that. It was the first genuine apology I'd received, and I didn't realize how much I needed it until I heard it. Thank you, I whispered. We sat in silence for a while, then he asked, do you think she'll admit it? I laughed bitterly. She won't. She's probably coming up with her next excuse right now. Lucas nodded. Well, I told Mom and Dad I'm not going to any family event if Jenna's there. My heart caught. What did they say? They didn't like it. But I'm done enabling her. Later that evening, Jenna finally texted me, but it wasn't an apology. Jenna, wow. Real mature, Nora. Dragging the whole family into your drama. Jenna, you're seriously unwell. You need help. Jenna, congratulations. You've officially turned them against me. You always wanted to be the favorite. I didn't respond. I was done playing her game, but I saved those messages too, just in case. A week passed before Dad finally reached out. He invited me to lunch. I almost said no, but part of me still craved something from him, validation. Maybe. Or just understanding. We met at a quiet cafe downtown. He looked tired, older than I remembered. I won't waste your time, he said. I read everything. It was hard to accept, but I see now. And I'm sorry for not believing you. I felt a lump rise in my throat. I don't want this to break our family, he added. It's already broken, I said. I just stopped. Pretending it wasn't. He sighed. Your mom's having a hard time with all of this. She keeps asking if we should get Jenna help. I bit my lip. Jenna doesn't want help. She wants control. You're probably right, he said quietly, then he reached across the table and took my hand. But I'm here now. I see you, Nora. And I'm so proud of the woman you've become. It wasn't everything. But it was something. Over the next month, our family dynamic shifted drastically. Jenna stopped coming around. Lucas stayed true to his word. He didn't attend family dinners if she was invited. Mom tried to be neutral at first, but even she couldn't ignore the mounting evidence, and I started breathing again. I went back to therapy. I started journaling daily. I reconnected with friends I'd pushed away because I'd been so consumed by family guilt, and slowly, I started to feel like myself again, not the version of me they'd decided I was, but the real me, the strong one. The one who refused to be gaslit into silence. But of course, Jenna didn't go down without a final strike. It came in the form of a social media post. She uploaded a long, dramatic caption with a photo of her and her son, painting herself as the family scapegoat, claiming she'd been bullied and betrayed by people who pretended to love her. People commented in support, of course, old friends, distant relatives, people who didn't know the truth. It hurt. Oh God, it hurt, but I didn't respond. I didn't need to, because this time, I had the receipts. And more importantly, I had peace. A few nights later, Lucas texted me a photo. It was a selfie of him, Dad, Mom, and me, all smiling at a small dinner we'd had. The caption he added made me cry. Family isn't perfect. But it's honest now. Healing isn't linear. Some days, I felt stronger than ever, surrounded by truth, finally seen by the people who mattered. Other days, the old wounds open without warning, and I'd find myself staring at the ceiling, wondering why it took proof for them to believe me. Why wasn't I enough? Why did it take screenshots and digital evidence to validate what my voice alone couldn't? I was grieving a version of my family that never existed, the one I had spent years trying to hold together, but I was also building something new. Something honest, and that began with setting boundaries. Jenna continued to push. She didn't take the silence well. She tried everything, subtle guilt trips, indirect jabs through mutual friends, even using our mother as a middleman. One day, Mom showed up at my place, eyes puffy from crying. She's begging me to bring you two together, she said. She says she wants to apologize in person. I stared at her. Do you believe that? I don't know, she whispered. But I want my daughters to fix things. I want my family whole again. I felt a wave of exhaustion wash over me. Mom. You want a reunion, I said. I want accountability. She sat down, defeated. I know Jenna's done damage, she said. But she's still my daughter. So am I replied, softly, and that silence between us, that thick, choking silence, said everything. A week later, Jenna reached out directly. Jenna, let's talk. No games. Just you and me. I didn't reply. I wasn't ready. I didn't trust her intentions. Every part of me screamed that she wanted to manage the fallout, not own it, but curiosity got the better of me. I didn't want to live in fear of her anymore. So, I said yes, under one condition. Me, only. If we meet in public. And if anything goes sideways, I'm leaving. She agreed. We met at a cafe, the same one Dad had taken me to weeks earlier. Full circle, I guess. She arrived late, looking tired but composed. I didn't think you'd actually come, she said, sliding into the chair across from me. I almost didn't. She stared at me for a long time, then said, I didn't mean for it to get this bad. I almost laughed. You didn't mean to fake texts, lie to our parents, and gaslight me for years? She flinched. Okay, maybe I meant some of it. But not all of it. Not like this. Jenna, you've destroyed relationships. You made me feel like I was losing my mind. She looked down at her hands. I always felt like you were the favorite, she said quietly. I blinked. What? You were the quiet one. The good one. The one Mom never had to worry about. And I hated that. I shook my head. That's not an excuse. It's not. I know that. But it's why I did it. I thought if I made you look bad enough, they'd finally see me. I didn't know what to say. I sat there, heart pounding, trying to reconcile the sister I loved with the person in front of me. I'm sorry, she said finally. Not just for the texts. For everything. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a movie-ending confession. But it was something. I looked at her and said the words I didn't expect to say. I forgive you. She looked up, shocked. You do? Yes. But that doesn't mean I want you in my life right now. Her face dropped. I'm healing, I continued. And you're part of the wound. I need space. Real space. I thought forgiveness meant things go back to normal. No, I said. It means I'm not letting this pain own me anymore. But I'm not forgetting what you did. She nodded, slowly. Okay. I guess that's fair. We sat in silence for a few minutes, then she stood up. I hope someday you'll let me in again. I didn't answer, because I didn't know. After that day, something shifted in me, not because Jenna had changed. I didn't know if she truly had. But because I had changed. I had finally spoken my truth and been heard. I had stood up for myself, even when it cost me the comfort of family approval. And I had survived it. Better yet, I had grown through it. Months passed. Dad started inviting me over for Sunday dinners again, small ones, without Jenna. Lucas would join too, sometimes bringing his girlfriend. The atmosphere was light. Real. No eggshells. Mom was still caught in the middle, torn between daughters. But she was trying. One night, as I helped her wash dishes, she said, You've become so strong, Nora. I don't know how I missed it before. I didn't say anything. But my chest filled with warmth. She finally saw me. I also started opening up to others. I shared my story, anonymously at first, on an online support group for people who'd experienced family scapegoating and manipulation. The replies flooded in. People said things like, "This sounds just like my sister. You're not alone. Thank you for sharing this." I thought I was crazy. That community helped me feel seen in a way my own blood never had, and that's why I'm sharing this now. Because maybe you've been where I've been, silenced, doubted, dismissed. Maybe your truth was too quiet to hear without evidence, but that doesn't make it any less real. 1 year later, almost to the day, I was packing up a box of old things. Journals, photos, a few childhood trinkets, when I found something unexpected. A small, handwritten note from my teenage years, stuffed in a shoebox. One day, they'll know I was telling the truth. And even if they don't say it, they'll feel it. I just have to hold on. I smiled through tears. That girl, that quiet, broken version of me, she had no idea what strength she was growing. No clue that her pain would become her voice, but I know now, and I promise you, even when they don't believe you, even when they call you a liar, the truth doesn't need permission to exist. It just is, outro, spoken in reflective tone. So if you've ever been made to question your reality, if you've ever been told your truth didn't matter, or worse, that you didn't matter, I want you to know this: you are not invisible. You are not crazy. And you are not alone. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes, even if they call you a liar, because one day, when you show them the texts, the scars, the proof, the silence will shatter, and the truth will finally be louder than their lies.